For the first time this year, we arrive at a track that's part of the 2020 Moonshiner Challenge. Before, the focus was on races relevant to this season. Tonight, there's extra incentive to perform with more points on the line that will count towards a year-long competition. Who will be our lucky five? We'll find out soon as we get ready to watch round 4 of the Bootleg Racing League's Grand National Series, presented by the Cruise Shop. And you'll see it all live here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Hi, I'm Joe Peak, and with me in the booth is Jeff Smith. Behind the scenes is our director, Sean Crackers Ambrose, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Martinsville has played a big part in American oval racing history. To understand why it so consistently returns every season to the bootleg schedule, let's learn a bit more with our track guide.
Welcome to a piece of racing history. The Martinsville Speedway in South Central Virginia opened before NASCAR was even founded, and it is one of the sport's original tracks. Its paperclip shaped half mile has grown from a dusty pioneer to a beautiful racing facility. Going off of the paperclip nickname, Martinsville is two 12-degree banked corners attached to two 800-foot-long straights. Getting out of these corners is all about managing the rear tires sliding around. It often feels like you're coming out of a valley as you head onto the straights. Martinsville is very much a rhythm-based racetrack though, some even referring to it as a rocking chair. You get that sensation because you want to feel the front of the car slam down under braking and then lift back up under acceleration. Making things even more complicated is the fact that the track is only 55 feet wide. Down in the corners, you'll find that yellow curve. It's elevated off the track by several feet, and if you catch it with those left side tires, you're bound to grab a handful of steering wheel. All of the action isn't on the track, however. The pit road that starts in the entry to turn 3 and exits out of turn 2 is only 46 feet wide itself, making pit road under caution look like a circus. Martinsville is not a track that you can rest on your laurels at. Always on top of the wheel is the name of the game. The drivers that do that best find themselves with a grandfather clock trophy. The fans come from all over, the drivers come from all over, even internationally, to race at the hallowed grounds. So settle in, buckle up, it's bound to be a great race.
They call it the paperclip, and while we had some sunny days to do our shooting, we got pretty overcast conditions here, it seems, today. Jeff, tell us a little bit more about the track.
I am absolutely pumped to go racing here for 100 laps in these Grand National cars. It is going to be an absolutely exciting race. You got 12 degrees banking, it's a half-mile track, and it is an absolute, it is crazy to run here. Especially with this new tire model. You get down in there, if you get down in there too hot, it hurts you. If you don't get in there down hot enough, you're going to get run over by the guy behind you. So it's going to be 100 laps of nonstop action for sure, Joe.
Yeah, certainly it will be a tricky one to try and keep the car clean. You can see drivers having problems already here in the warm-up. But once again, we want to remind you that this series is brought to you by the Cruise Shop. The Cruise Shop has been in operation since 1986. They are a team of highly experienced travel agents that have a huge passion for travel. They specialize in cruises, all-inclusive resorts, escorted tours, Disney and family travel, groups, honeymoons, and weddings. They would love the opportunity to help you plan your next vacation. Give them a call today. The number is 260-755-6125 or visit them online at thecruiseshopfw.com. The Cruise Shop is dedicated to fulfilling their clients' dreams one destination at a time. We've got Todd Liston in here ready to talk to us about how he hopes his destination is going to be Victory Lane today. Let's pull him in and see what he thinks about trying to race at the paperclip. Todd, obviously it's going to be tough to try and keep a clean car out here today. So do you have a plan coming in?
Yeah, I'm just going to try to keep it facing forward. It's pretty rough out here to complete a few consecutive laps, so it's going to be an interesting night for sure.
And, speaking of getting consecutive laps in, if we do, we were talking a little bit before the race about the no tire change rule and how that's going to play out here with the K&N car and the new tire model on there. Are you at all concerned about keeping those rear tires underneath you over the full 100 laps, or do you think that won't be as much of a problem?
I'm not so sure that tire wear itself will be as much of an issue as it is just keeping, just racing the track. It's pretty slick out there until you get your tires warmed up, and once you get them warmed up, it's a little bit better.
We did see that there seemed to be a lot of cautions at the start of the modified race just a few moments ago that you guys ran. Do you think that kind of is a bit of a precursor? Or do you think all the jitters maybe have gotten out after that one?
I think people may be more alert after getting in those first couple races. It's been a rough night starting out, but it's the end of that SK race started to clean up a little bit. So I think we'll see some good racing here.
Oh, we hope so as well. Do you have any shouts that you'd like to give out before we let you go and get back to warming up?
Just thanks to the cruise shop or sponsoring all this, and thanks to you guys for putting it on every week.
Well, thank you very much. That was Todd Liston, of course, driving in that number 87 once again tonight. He's currently 7th in the warm-up. We'll see how he does once we actually get out to race pace. Let's take a look at the championship, though, while we've got the opportunity. The points right now being led by James Lowe, and he's both leading this and the modified championship, by the way. So this is a very good season for that driver. And then Mike Holloway has bumped himself up into second place recently. Now, Brad Speidel has been quick. He's got pace, but he hasn't quite had the consistency. That's why he's down in third. And then it's a very, very close fight you can see between Robinson and Shepard and Jewell. Jewell and Shepard tied for 5th place. But this is all fighting it out to try and break into the top 4 among them. Of course, we might have viewers who've never seen the Bootleg Racing League before here. Jeff, why don't you fill us in on the race details?
Yeah, this is going to be race 4 of 11, and these guys go head-to-head every single week. There is no tire changes allowed, so that's going to be interesting to see tonight on this V7 tire model. They do get one fast repair, and I expect it to be used quite a bit here. We've seen these guys, they come out of 1, or they come out of 2, or they come out of 4, and they just, one gets loose, and then they just kind of pile in. So it'll be interesting to see who decides to lay back and who decides to get in there. Also, each week, the top 8 will invert. I believe James Lowe will be starting 8th tonight, so that's going to be interesting. We'll see him. He actually won the modified race here just a few moments ago, and he's shown so much speed in this series. It is unreal watching this guy come to the front. And we watched him just absolutely check out last week. So we're going to see how he gets through the field this week and how well he does, Joe.
Yeah, he's certainly going to have to pass some cars to do it this time. And he's looking like maybe the one to finally replace the ever-dominant J.R. Shepard, potentially. Certainly not the typical season we're used to seeing from Shepard. You can see right now that number 98 is leading the warm-up currently. The temperature's out there at a nice cool 75 degrees Fahrenheit, so pretty good track conditions, and with it being this late in the day. It's about just past 7 p.m. virtual standard time. It shouldn't really be heating up. If anything, it'll probably continue to cool down. So as we watch the drivers continue to put practice in, 19 of them have signed in, although I do not see Jeffrey Harden in the session. Hopefully he'll be able to get that reconnected and be able to race today. So if we do wind up getting a few cautions out there, Jeff, I mean, what's your best strategy to try and make up those positions? Do you just have to go aggressive on the restarts to try and hope you snag one before a yellow comes back out again?
Yeah, I honestly think everything you earn tonight is going to have to be by digging really hard. With these guys not having any tire changes, pit stop's not really going to be an issue as far as track position wise. So you're going to have to earn everything you get tonight, and it's going to take a lot. And you got to know how to balance aggressive and the conservative, because you don't want to get in there and burn up your tires too early, and you don't want to not get in there and then run risks of not picking up any positions. And if you don't get in here as quick as you can, if you don't go into 2 or go into 1 as hard as you can, and come out of 2 as hard as you can, you will get ran over by the guy behind you. It is an absolute nerve-wracking experience to run around here.
Watching Bruce Pearson now, who sits behind Shepard by about 6/100ths, at least here in the warm-up. Don't read into that too much. By the way, we did mention the 2020 Moonshiner Challenge. For those wondering what that is, because we have mentioned it before, but again, we might have some newcomers. The top 5 finishers here today will earn points towards that Moonshiner Challenge. And it's every race here at Martinsville, and once it's built here on iRacing North Wilkesboro, they will earn points towards that championship. It's only the top 5 in each of only those 2 tracks throughout all of this year that will score. And I'm not sure if they have a special prize at the end of the season or if that's just simply bragging rights. I'll have to check in to see if they've got anything waiting in the wings for whoever comes away the winner of that competition. So drivers, well, I mean, Jeff, let's be honest. Do drivers ever really need a prize? I get the feeling the idea of finishing first in anything is probably incentive enough for most.
Oh, absolutely. And I really look forward to this. I love the idea of bringing back the history of NASCAR and what it all started from. So this Bootleggers Challenge is really, I'm really excited for this. We're going to see who maybe gets a little bit more aggressive to see if they can pull off the extra.
Just about 2 minutes left here in the warm-up right now. Looking to see if we have any new drivers this week. I'm not seeing anything. We do have one very special driver today, though. Mike Holloway is celebrating his birthday there in the number 31 car. So apparently has Kool-Aid now as his sponsor on that machine. I like that. He'll hopefully be drinking maybe something a little bit harder than Kool-Aid coming later on in the evening once his racing is done. Granted, some of our viewers may be hopping over from watching a little bit of the Daytona 24. If you are, welcome in. I know I've been trying to follow what I could as long as I could today in between our coverage of various races. You're in for a very different style of racing here today, though, if you're jumping over from watching real-life sports cars.
It's going to be interesting to see. You know, Joe, watching these guys in practice, I kind of see some guys trying to maybe creep up into that second line. You think it'll maybe work out later on in the race?
Hard to say. You know, we haven't really seen it work too well the past times we've been here, but this is the first time we've run this K&N car, the Grand National car, here in this league. Usually it's the Modifieds, which we watched just shortly ago, not on air, but this same league runs 3 races in a night here Saturday nights. And I don't recall seeing it really coming in too well. There was a lot of too wide for at least a couple laps before they were able to sort things out on those restarts. Again, it's cool conditions, so I don't know if they really will have that bottom line heat up too badly.
We kind of talked about it last week at Myrtle Beach, and I think it's going to apply tonight too. You know, these guys going 60 laps in a modified cars. It's a paperclip of all places, so they've been turning left a lot of times tonight. Is 160 laps going to get? Is it going to weigh on somebody? You know, that's a lot of turning and a lot of use of your shoulders and stuff. Will driver fatigue become an issue here tonight?
Oh, we'll find out pretty soon because they're lining up now. So let's go through the grid. On the pole, it is going to be Todd Liston. We were just talking to him earlier with Ruben Altice to his outside. Bruce Pearson, P3 for him, will be flanked by Donnie Moore in the 4th spot. Then you've got Lowell Jewell starting in 5th. Robbie Robinson rounds out row 3. Mike Holloway, the birthday boy, will be starting in 7th with James Lowe in P8. Joe Segala starts 9th, and then Mike Allen rounds out your top 10.
And then we're going to have, I believe that is Jeffrey Harden starting 11th, Brad Speidel on the outside of him, Kurt Smith on the inside of row 7, J.R. Shepard on the outside of row 7. That's going to be an interesting story too. Is J.R. Shepard going to make his way through the field pretty quickly? Kenny Kibley on the outside of, or inside of row 8, I'm sorry. Justin Morton on the outside, Austin Bullock on the inside of row 9, Tim Shinofsky on the outside, and then rounding out John Hine.
They see 19 car field, 2 laps here, with it being a half-mile track, and we'll go racing for 100 laps. Of course, that pace car peels off a little bit early because the pit entry being at the entry to turn 3. So as we wait for them to cycle their way around, everybody already double file. Certainly seemed like Bruce Pearson was quick before he got into a bit of trouble in the modified race. Wonder if that 96 will be able to hold up at the front here in the Grand National car. There goes the Mustang pace car. Control is now given to Todd Liston. Number 87 waits patiently. Green flag is out. We go racing here at Martinsville. It's a good jump for the 87. He's already got a little bit ahead up on the high side. The number 11 takes it in way too deep. Ruben Altice actually going to cause it to go 3 wide immediately. And then the 26 of Donnie Moore is going to sneak into third potentially. Down low below him, the number 19 of Lowell Jules trying to defend off of that. Everybody already squirming under power. And
we got somebody sideways.
I think that's Shinosky, Tim Shinosky. So that happened out of turn 4. The 07 looks. Let's see, we got the replay. It initially started just with him, and he had a little bit of contact, I think, with Belke here.
I was actually really excited about how well these guys sorted that out. I was really on the edge of my seat right there, just nervous about how. He just looks like he just got loose.
Yeah, that rear started to come around about halfway through the corner. You're going to see from Belke's perspective, that's the 07 up on the high side. Yeah, well, and this track is so narrow here, Jeff. It didn't look like he had any choice.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's going to happen all night. We're just going to get guys. You just have nowhere to go, and it's not. There's not much you can do. You're along for the ride at that point.
So everybody gets back single file, waiting again. Nicely done by Bruce Pearson. That bumped him up into second. Todd Liston certainly looked strong at the start. He held on to the lead there. Lowell Jewell was the one that wound up snagging third in that side-by-side fight. That was only decided by the caution flag in the end. But Moore up to fourth place. Well, actually, I should say staying in fourth place because that's where he gridded. But managed to thread the needle dealing with that 3-wide situation. Poor Ruben Altice fell to 6, having blown turn 1, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how long these guys can hang out up front. You know, it looks like James Lowe kind of got stuck in the wash there a little bit during that 3-wide stint back there, and he actually jumped back to 10th or 9th now. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can make up those spots.
I think you're right. It is 10th place for the number 99. We do only have 18 cars that are racing, as Jeffrey Harden sadly has not come back. Tim Shinosky currently in last after his spin there in turn 4 that we saw, bringing out the first caution of the night. Almost finished the first lap. Just about took it, but we're now going double file. We'll get restarted on lap 7.
Yeah, and thankfully, Joe, that little bit of damage that he has on the right rear there should not hurt him at all here.
Yeah, not exactly an aero-sensitive track. All right, Liston's got control once again. We ride on board with Moore, looking up ahead at Pearson. Ooh, really good start for the 87. In fact, that was a check up there that's going to cause Donnie Moore to lose out, and that actually shoves the 18 into the outside line. A few cars coming together, but we stay green. Up into second place, Lowell Jewell sneaks by Bruce Pearson. And down below, looks like the birthday boy is going to get in there. The number 31 trying to get onto the podium ahead of Bruce Pearson. If he can keep the power down, and he does not as he starts to spin the tires off of turn 4. His battle continues. Pearson up on the high side, and Moore goes around.
We got a big pile up in 1 and 2.
And waiting for the caution to come out here. Still not getting one. No, how did we not get a caution with that? All right.
Oh, wow, they got it sorted out.
Okay, so stewards are very lax today as we continue to watch this battle between Holloway and Pearson, and Holloway finally gets P3 away. Behind them now, Robbie Robinson in there in 5th place. And they've got a bit of a gap because everybody had to scatter from that big wreck. That slowed up a ton of cars who really, really want a caution now. I think we've calmed down enough. Let's take a look at what happened. Starts, I think, with Donnie Moore. Yeah, there he gets turned around. Might have had help, though. Number 9 gets into him pretty hard. And
Wow,
as we watch this...
a lot of our main guys up there, too. James Lowe, J.R. Shepard, he's rebounded a little bit, but James Lowe has fallen all the way to 17th after that contact right there.
Ooh, and I think, yeah, that's the 99 of James Lowe we saw getting turned around. We have caution because Austin Belke got turned around. And this time, though, it was a single-car incident that brought out the caution. Let's watch this coming out of turn 2. This is very similar to what we had with Shinosky.
Yeah, that's just getting into it way too early and just getting a little bit too much power to those rear tires and just going around.
So
It's going to happen quite a bit.
Yeah, this will happen out of turn 2. We're riding on board, so I think it's coming up here. No one around him. Just starts to go, and there's no saving it from there. All right, as we come back live, we do have a few cars coming in for repairs. Certainly not surprised as Tim Shinosky gets his spare car. James Lowe is in. Is he going to take his spare? Yes, he does. Pops back into place. The 99 gets going once again. Does send him pretty much to the very back of the field. Belke is going to be in last place as he went a lap down. John Hine running in 17th, last car on the lead lap. Liston still leads. Lowell Jewell now into 2nd with a great restart, and Mike Holloway finally settled it out with Pearson taking 3rd away from Bruce.
It'll be interesting to see how Mike Allen and Justin Morton do tonight. I know Mike Allen's been running up front a lot in this series, and I think he kind of fell off last week and didn't have that great of a run, but well, hopefully he gets back up there.
Now, I have bad news for the leaders. J.R. Shepard is up to 6th already. He will be on the outside line on the restart. That might hurt him, as he certainly is going to have to try and duck down to the low line as soon as he can in order to not lose positions. But having started this race in 14th, JR now has not quite as many cars to try and work through to get up and challenge our leaders. And we've seen in the past, Jeff, that it's very difficult to keep a charging number 98 behind you.
Oh, yeah, these guys are... J.R. Shepard is absolutely on rails, and I have no doubt that he will be up front really, really soon tonight. Him and Robbie Robinson had a really good run. I think these guys are going to be coming to the front really quick. Yeah, they're going to have to fight Todd Liston, though. I truly believe that.
Yeah, Todd looks pretty quick as we go double file once again. Saw quite a bit of damage on Shepard, though. Again, though we don't have to worry as much about aerodynamics here. I guess if there's a Darlington stripe, Jeff, is there a Martinsville dent? Is that a thing you can earn?
Oh yeah, if you leave here with a undented car, I guess you would say, you just didn't race hard enough.
All right, let's see how hard they race on this restart. So far, nobody's been able to keep up on the restarts with the 87, but this time, a decent one from the 19 of Lowell Jewell. He has it clearing if he wants to go down low, but he takes it in very deep through 1 and 2. Still clear down below, and now they start to go single file. Battle is for 4th place between Robinson and Pearson. Pearson in the bright blue car you see up on the high side, the red and white of the number 56, Robbie Robinson, down low. Unfortunately for Bruce, already he's got J.R. Shepard trying to poke his nose in. Whoa, and 2 cars spinning at once. That's Lowell and that's Pearson in caution as we get a bunch of cars piling in.
And we see it again, just one guy goes around and there's just nowhere to go, unfortunately.
This is 2 completely independent incidents. So Pearson starts to lose and actually bounces off of Shepard. It sends him into the outside wall, and he finds himself running back into all the traffic. And then in front of him, Lowell Jewell, you see he's already turned around. You know, we mentioned this is the new tire. Lowell actually almost avoided more damage, but eventually he got ran into by James Lowe. We talked about this car having the new tire model. I wonder if some of this spinning on these restarts, Jeff, have to do with the cold tire.
Yeah, they're just not getting enough laps on the tires before we have another caution again. So that's going to be a struggle all night. I think if you don't get a good heat cycle on these, and even if you do, you get a good heat cycle and then you get a few laps to cool them down, and you really gotta baby them on that restart.
Boy, Lowell Jewell not looking all that great after that hard hit, and after pushing himself up to second place. That's a shame to see him slotted as far down as he is. John Hine comes into the pits, so does Tim Shinosky. Pretty sure both of them were involved in that wreck. James Lowe, John Hine, of course, sporting the Crew Shop sponsor for the series, but big implications in the championship here. James Lowe has retired from the race.
Oh no, that's gonna hurt quite a bit. That's gonna give Mike Holloway a good chance at picking up some points tonight. That's gonna be interesting to see that.
Yeah, and he's in second place right now. And where is Brad Speidel, actually? Speidel's down in ninth. And Speidel's the one behind Holloway in the points currently. So really, I guess besides Robbie Robinson, who sits fourth in the points and is directly behind Holloway right now, most of his major rivals are not near him. He's got a bit of an open goal.
It's going to be interesting. You know, Holloway pick up a good points day or a birthday win. That'd be interesting to see.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I'm sure he'd love that. Now, we are going to get a wave around for Lowell Jewell. He'll be sent by the pace car here soon as we ride on board with Speidel there for a moment. There he goes. Now we go double file. Shepard gained 2 positions last time. He's up to 4th now. Going to be restarting on lap 24. We've had a decent number of cautions here at the start. Driver's still struggling to try and keep it green. All right, waiting for that green flag to go. And a very early start this time from Todd Liston. He caught the 31 napping. Holloway under threat from Robbie Robinson down to the low side as they swing it into turns 1 and 2. And we got a spinner in the back. Trying to figure out, they think that was the 6 of Smith. Still fighting side by side for both second and third and fourth. Oh, and another big accident behind them as this spinning Mike Allen finds Justin Morton. And it was Kenny Kibbe who spun, excuse me. Oh, and Kibbe got some help. It was Mike Allen that initially starts spinning. You'll see it out of turn 4. Poor Gibbs had nowhere to go. And then behind them, they get slammed into by Mike Allen. By Justin Morton, rather. We want a good evasion. The number 12... number 21. I pulled a bill there. John Hine, the number 21. Right numbers, wrong order. Did a great job reading the situation. You'll see from his perspective here. Just ducked low immediately, pulled himself out of the way. That kept him out of trouble.
That's some excellent driving. It's what you're going to have to do here. When things go bad, you're just going to have to get on the brakes and hope and pray that the guy behind you also gets on the brakes.
Yeah, how difficult is it to see ahead with these cars? Because last night we had the Cup cars at Talladega with the new spoilers, and Christian was talking about the difficulty in trying to see over top of those. They don't have as tall ones here in these K&N cars here, Jeff, but when you get close up behind someone, are you kind of blind?
Yeah, you're pretty much completely blind, and that's why you got to leave a real good gap. And then a lot of everything happens on the exit of the turn, so I mean, you're essentially going into the corner blind anyway. If you're not able to look out that window right away, you're running into a blind spot, and it's really hard to manage to pull through.
Got some information here from James Lowe. Now that he's hopped out of the car, sounds like he had a problem with his shifter. We're hearing he couldn't get it into first. I guess you could pull a Michael Schumacher or something and just cruise around in one gear and try and salvage it, but it sounds like he really didn't feel safe trying to do that for what is frankly the majority of the race left to go. We're only hitting lap 30 here.
It's gonna be a hard hit for him. That really, it's really deflating when things like that happen to you, and you know you've been consistently fast every single week, and then you have just something really go wrong and put that points in jeopardy, and it's really rough.
So Robbie Robinson managed to get by Mike Holloway. He'll start on the outside of the front row this time. Holloway in third. Ruben Altice got by J.R. Shepard as well. So Ruben Altice is the outside of row 2, but Shepard on the inside. This could get him a few spots, the number 98. Let's see how he handles this. Golden sun going down, but right now the green flag coming out. Another good jump from Todd Liston. He's been in the lead this whole race.
Robinson looks like he did not get a good start there. He looked like it's almost like he was missed a gear.
Oh, and Altice goes way wide once again. He still hasn't got the hang of those restarts. Meanwhile, Holloway is going to get down to the inside of the number 56. And almost loses it. Car wobbling coming off the corner. Got a big wreck in the back. That looks like Kurt Smith, I think, involved in that one. Justin Morton as well.
And Austin Belkey.
This started with Donnie Moore, I think, is the first really to have something happen. So he starts to get loose off of 4. And Altice, unfortunately, just what you were talking about earlier, Jeff, he can't react in time.
Yeah, you're just along for the ride at that point. You just, again, hope that you're managing to slow up and everybody else behind you kind of slows up. Let's look at it here on the replay. Yeah, it looks like he just starts to go around. Oh, no, he checks up and nobody... Ouch.
Justin Morton was the one that initially hits Moore after that. And then, of course, Kurt Smith and Austin Belkey both find themselves getting collected with it. Just below the flagman stand. There's Morton. You can see taking a very, very hard hit. I wonder if we're going to start losing some cars, because pretty certain a lot of drivers have taken their spare car at this point. Morton just took his spare. Kurt Smith is able to get back out from pit lane. Austin Belkey's coming in.
And look at this. Mike Holloway and J.R. Shepard. Shepard's got a little bit of damage, but Holloway's car is clean as it just come off the trailer. That is interesting. He's been able to stay up front, keep that car clean. That might work out for him. It's something we'll have to watch.
Yeah, and the 31 is once again going to restart on the front row. But he's now got J.R. Shepard restarting in third at the number 98. I suspect is going to be very quick on the throttle to try and deny the chance to get down to the apex for Mike Holloway's Kool-Aid car. And we are getting double file once more, only on lap 36. Ooh, boy. This is turning into an absolute slog for these drivers.
And again, the longer it drags out, the more you got to think about driver fatigue coming into picture.
Through 3 and 4. What has Holloway learned from watching the restarts of the 87? Not enough. Oh, and he's really slow off of it. Even before they get to the apex, J.R. Shepard is ahead of him down into turn 1. Shepard looking for second place, and he's got it. A battle for third continues. Holloway challenged by Robinson. Robinson can't quite get the nose in there. They go single file for the top 6. Behind them, our first side-by-side battle is between Hine and Altice. Oh, but Altice drags the wall. So Altice falls way down the order from that mistake.
It's interesting to see because I believe the same thing that happened to Shepard there, or to Holloway there, actually happened to Robinson on the previous one. So I'm wondering if something in the outside lane on the exit of 4 is there's just something they're not getting the grip that they need to get going in it. I don't know if they're getting on the gas too quick or if it's just a rough spot or what. It seems to be happening pretty consistently.
So you see Shepard in second, but Liston's pulled away somewhat. And both Liston and Shepard have been in clear air at this point. So this is effectively raw pace, but it's still very early in this run between them. So maybe Shepard holding on to his stuff a little bit.
If they can get spread out and get everybody on warmer tires, get those tires warmed up, get them going consistent, I think we can spread out here and we'll get some really good racing. I think Holloway will pull in Shepard will pull in Liston, and we'll have a really good battle up front.
And the entire field is single file at this point. Liston is your leader, as we mentioned. Shepard second. Holloway's fallen down to third. Robinson to fourth. Speidel back up to P5. He started this race 12th. He's gained quite a bit. Tim Shinosky, the very first caution of the day was because of him, but the 07 is now up to P6. And this is about the calmest we've seen it so far. Drivers finally just rifling off laps.
And fortunately for Bruce Pearson, he showed a lot of speed early and a lot of speed through the practice, and he's fallen all the way to 11th. So he's going to have a tough time climbing his way back up through here.
Ooh, that had a change for position for 12th. Ruben Altice trying to recover from hitting and slapping the wall there on the front stretch. He got by Joe Segala just now. So the 81 demoted to 13th. Pearson will be the next one up for Altice. Let's take a quick look at the replay before he catches up to the 96. Actually did he get 2 and 1 here? Because that's Allen in front of him. Oh, Allen did exactly what the 11 did. And he just had such a good run that he blew by Segala in the process. So I'm sure he'll be happy about that.
Take what you can get when you can get it. It's going to be the name of the game tonight.
Oh, and on screen, he's already caught up to Pearson. He's to the inside. Look at all the damage on these cars already. Still challenging as he rides side by side through the corner. Pearson might be struggling a little bit considering how much we're seeing on that car bent up. In fact, he's already going to be overtaken by the 81, who also follows through. Or at least he's going to try to. Segala manages to take the inside line away. And it looks like he's going to be able to complete the pass through 1 and 2. Ruben Altice, a pat on the back for him, all the way up to 11th. Boy, Pearson is struggling as he gets shoved out of the way now. Mike Allen giving him the elbow. The 59 now takes 13th spot. Let's head back up front. While they are dropping off of the leaders, they are still very close together. This is Brad Speidel and Tim Shinosky fighting for P5. Little drifting up there on the exit of the corner for Speidel. Shinosky spies that. He manages to get his nose in with a good run off of turn 2. Into the braking of 3. He does manage to get fully inside, and now on the front stretch, he is all the way past the number 5 car.
And it looks like John Hines going to take advantage of Speidel washing up there a little bit too. So You really got to get back down there to the bottom in order to not get taken advantage of.
Yeah, we saw that as well with Pearson. It seems like when one car passes, it looks like the freight train just starts. Just hit the halfway point here. Todd Liston is still your leader. Shepard now behind by about a second and a half. Really hard to read this one, though, Jeff. I can't tell if he is actually just holding on to the tires.
Yeah, I've been watching this one for a few minutes here. Robbie Robinson is just knocking on the door, just waiting for Mike Holloway to slip up. Holloway is not moving off that bottom line at all. It's going to be interesting to see maybe... Oh, looks like Robbie Robinson's going to get a good run off. Will that get him nose in there? No.
Yeah, just a little bit too far back, it seems. 31. Great defense, like you mentioned. 56 still poking his nose in here and there, trying to see if he can rattle him, but I suspect Holloway isn't even watching his mirror at this point. He is just rifling off those laps. He wants to get a podium on his birthday.
Yeah, it looks like Mike Holloway might get a good run in and then just can't get that drive off. Or maybe he's saving. Maybe he's not trying to push too hard on the drive off, and that'll come into play later on in the race too.
Ooh, we might have a battle going on for 8th as well. Actually, might as well make that 7th. Whoa, and as soon as I go back there, Kenny Kibbe just got shoved out of the way by the 19 of Lowell Jewell, and he just hit the wall. Let's look at that one more time. This is the chrome horn if I ever saw one.
Oh yeah, Lowell Jewell just gives him the business right here. Just shoves him at the track.
Yeah, this will happen in turn 1, you'll see here. Excuse me, thank you, that's my spot, and goodbye. So that moves Lowell Jewell up into 8th, and he's actually going to take 7th away from Brad Speidel if we come back live, because he's managed to get to the inside of Brad.
It looks like Speidel might be having some issues. He did not get a good run in there. He just washed way up the track.
He might lose another here, depending on how aggressive Kibbe wants to be. Kibbe's not quite there. He's given space at the apex, though. And, wow, he could have shut the door if he wanted to, but Speidel elected not to. Oh, and we missed the pass for 3rd. Sorry, we got so focused on that. Just now, the 56 got a great run down the backstretch and snuck by Holloway. Let's take a look at the replay on that. Looking for Holloway on this one. There we go. Wow, just great traction off there. And by that point, the 31 couldn't do anything to stop it.
Yeah, I have suspicion Mike Holloway might have been like, go ahead, we'll let you. I'll see you in a little bit.
Saving that rubber underneath him. This is the longest green flag run we've had so far. Something might be wrong with Ruben Altice because he's fallen backwards since we last looked. I wonder if he used his stuff up. Morton's actually passing him around the outside. Whoa, and there's a shove to the back. That was Joe Segala getting into the 11.
And I'm actually watching J.R. Shepard. Looks like he's pulling in Todd Liston a little bit of time. He picked up about 3/10 of him since the last time we were up here. It's going to be interesting to see if he can drag him back the rest of the way back in.
Yeah, the 98 is starting to make some inroads, and he's got no worries from behind. Robinson, after that side-by-side battle, lost quite a bit. It's 6 seconds from Robinson to Shepard currently. It's what equates to a 2-car breakaway. We're down to about 35 laps to go.
Liston coming up on some lap traffic might play into Shepard's, right into Shepard's hand also.
Checking in on Robinson and Holloway, though. After he got past Mike hasn't fallen off. But here's what's interesting, is Tim Shanoski and John Hine have now rocked up to the battle.
Shanoski's showing some real strength today in that 07. That's going to be interesting to see how if he can get to Holloway and how long it takes him to get around Holloway.
Wondering if that Kmart car can give him the blue light special. He's going to have to get closer than that, though, before he can have any sort of attack. These four relatively closely matched at this point. Robinson, is Robinson starting to pull a gap, though? Look at this. He's got up to half a second now. It was closer than that just a couple laps ago.
Oh, and Liston's not getting through traffic quite as well as Shepard is. He's got it down to almost a half second now. Shepard has reeled in Liston.
This is great news for Shepard. Of course, he's had a lot of experience lapping cars, especially in this series. Liston, got to give him credit. He's been staying cool this race. He's been getting those laps in. He's been staying consistent. He's getting close to now 30 left to go. Can he hold off J.R. Shepard for that many laps? Or will we actually stay green for that many laps as well? Will we get another caution? Another battle that's got a group of four. Whoa, and Donnie Moore just took a hit from Ruben Altice. No caution. Donnie started to lose the rear, and that's what caused them to get together. Number 26 does not look in the best of shapes already. Good job, everybody, to keep cool in that situation. As we come back live, Moore is demoted to 12th from that one slip-up. Lost about 3 places. Well, Liston, I think, maybe using the traffic a little bit to his advantage. So we take a look at Kenny Kibbe now on screen in the 14. He's chasing Justin Morton. That's the 6 just ahead of him. The 9, rather.
Ooh, and it looks like Holloway has brought Robinson a little farther closer too, and Shanoski's right on the rear of that 31 machine. That's going to be, he's getting there.
He's hunting him, and I'm sure Shanoski is hungry, especially knowing that he's regained all these positions since essentially what was the first lap of the race, and is now looking at a potential podium. Behind them, Hine is essentially just watching and waiting, seeing how this unfolds. Shanoski, also worth mentioning, started this race in 18th. That was dead last since we didn't have Jeffrey Harden start this race.
He's showing a lot of strength here, and the way he's reeling in Mike Holloway it's really impressive. He's shown a lot of speed tonight, and how they in getting around this paperclip. It's not an easy track to get around, especially in these cars. You got to get all that power stopped in 4 spots.
Yeah, absolutely. Riding on board with Shanoski now, looking up ahead at the Kool-Aid car. I'm keeping half an eye on Shepard and Liston. They've made it through much of the traffic, but they're not done with it. And Shepard has closed it down to about 0.6 of a second, by the way. What was interesting, and I wanted to mention this before we got more battles that erupted. Whoa, they just had Donnie Moore slip up in front of them. That's actually going to bring him very, very close. Does he go defensive? No, Liston stays on the racing line, but no attack either from J.R. Shepard. Both of them trying to get that power down off the corner. They stay put, but now the pressure is really on.
It's interesting. Oh, Shepard in the wall.
Pushing a little too hard there for the number 98. All that ground he just caught up goes away in a flash, and it's back up to 0.6 of a second. We've got 12 cars left on the lead lap currently. Joe Segala, the next one in line for Liston to try and work his way past. Watch from onboard Shepard as Liston starts to catch up to Joe.
Yeah, it looks like JR just burned his stuff up trying to reel Liston in there, and it's gonna hurt him here in the long run, I think.
Liston, though, isn't looking so hot either. It's been a couple laps that looks like he's getting a little greedy with the right foot. And the other thing to note is, well, I thought that they would be catching and lapping Segala here, but it's taken them a long time to get up behind the 81.
Segala's still showing some speed here. And it's interesting to see if Liston will be able to get by him quite as quickly as he did the others.
We've got about 17 laps left to go. And here's your lap comparison between Liston and Segala. And it looks like, Segala has been quicker a couple times, but not a lot of them. Looks like Liston is taking chunk after chunk out of there.
Yeah, looking at that last couple laps, it looks like about 0.2 faster is Todd Liston than Segala.
Back to third place, Robbie Robinson. Remember, we saw him peel that bottom step of the podium away from Mike Holloway, and we thought that maybe Holloway would hold with him and try to attack back, but he hasn't attacked back yet. If he's going to do it, he's going to have to do it soon. We're down to 15 to go.
And Hine got past Janoski. That's interesting to see if he can pull in Holloway. Janoski couldn't get it done.
Not sure how we missed that. Behind them, Justin Morton in the number 9, going to get that number right this time, has caught up to them. So we're seeing a little bit of an ebb and flow on who maybe hustled a little too hard early on and who has just played patient, and in fact patient enough that Morton's going to get to the inside of Tim Shanoski. Despite a hard charge, Shanoski continues to fall backwards with not much left to try and regain on it.
And it looks like Shepard might be pulling in Liston again. That's going to be interesting to see if he managed to maybe cool off those tires and get another run.
They did eventually lap Segala. He let them through. They're not done because Brad Speidel in 11th is the next one to go a lap down.
And I fear Speidel's going to be a little bit of the Ryan Newman in this series, and he is not. Oh, he's going to let him go.
Yep, I don't think he's got much to fight for at this point. Oh, but look at how hard it is for the 87 on the bottom line to get the power down. He's lucky he caught that thing.
And J.R. Shepard's just watching that and just waiting.
Well, this will be great for Shepard. Again, tied for 5th in the championship points. Making great inroads. Robinson and Holloway, though, also will be making up a few points on James Lowe. We haven't had any retirements since James. Pearson's still out there in 17th and still cruising around.
And watching this battle between Morton and Hine, I think Morton might be able to get a little bit of runoff, and he's going to get Hine here really soon. I feel like he's just inching, and he's going to get a good run in, and it's going to be interesting to see.
Both of them hard on the power. 21 of Hine does not defend, stays to the outside even though the 9 was poking his nose. And again, this is effectively a battle for second, or for third rather, I should say. Oh, there he goes to the inside. Are we going to get a caution? 21 keeps it from going around. No, he doesn't. There's the yellow with 8 to go. Ooh, this spices things up a treat.
This is the heat cycle we were talking about earlier. We're going to get a 3 lap cool off here, and then they're going to go back green, and it's going to be warm. It's going to be hard to get the power down on those cold tires.
Watch the replay. Now, I don't know. Your thoughts on this? The 6 didn't really have a nose in until they started turning into the corner. Or the 9, rather. I did it again.
I don't think he had enough in there to justify as low as he dove in there, but he might have just misjudged it. I feel like he got a little bit too much, and he just got high and around.
I mean, it's less than 10 to go. Maybe he figured it's a now or never sort of thing, and figured he had to go for it.
Oh, absolutely. It's go time. It is go time. This is Martinsville. You're not going to get that shot again.
Well, we are going to get a shot at a restart, but we do not have green-white checkers in this series. So if we get another caution, that's going to be the end of the race. J.R. Shepherd, though, starting to the outside of the front row. Some drivers have handled that well, and some have not.
Yeah, we've seen that outside really be detrimental to that restart, and this is going to be interesting to see how Shepherd handles it.
All right, still got at least another lap or so under caution here. Here's your order now. Liston leads, J.R. Shepherd in second, Robbie Robinson in third, with Holloway in fourth and Justin Morton in P5. Here's what's interesting, too, is Robinson was way too far back from Shepherd for anything to be feasible. He was almost a full, I'd say, 10 seconds back there. If, with this restart, Robinson could try and be aggressive and get on the inside of Shepherd, which would be bad news for Shepherd, since he's going to want to try and challenge Liston and not have to go on the defense.
Well, and then you got Holloway starting right behind Liston, right behind Shepherd. So that's going to be interesting, too. See how hard he pushes to get down there.
All right, do we get the one to go this time by? Yes, indeed. There we go. Lights are out on the pace car. It is going to be a 2-lap shootout. If they get to the white flag, there can be no more cautions. They do not throw the yellow with 1 to go. Todd Liston has led every lap of this race. Can he get that one last restart with very, very old tires? Can he be smooth on the power? It's do or die time. It's now or never. Oh, and he just can't quite get the throttle down. Here comes the 98 to the high side. J.R. Shepherd's going to try and take it away, and he gets tipped around. Caution comes out. That ends it. J.R. Shepherd is in the front. Where is that? Where are they going to put that? Caution came out very quickly. I don't think we even really had a car around when it came out. Before we go to caution, we are on white flag, or go to replay, we are on white flag here. Let's hold out before we watch the replay. And I'm waiting to see if they're going to allow Liston to climb back up to second place, or where they're going to sort him. Meanwhile, our victor here today is the number 98 of J.R. Shepherd, getting his championship hunt back on track. Looks like Liston came back to finish second here. I'm seeing that on the order. Holloway third. Robinson fourth. Now, let's see. I believe we had the replay spooled up for the incident. You saw it immediately. The tail of the car just waggling around. You knew that was bad news here, Jeff. But it wasn't that caused the incident. Looks like that was Robinson clipping him.
Yeah, it looks like Robinson might have gone into the rear end of Liston there and give him a little bit of help around.
Okay, let's watch from Robinson's view. He sees that happening. Maybe wants to get involved. Maybe takes it a little bit too hot into there. Definitely touched him. Starts to turn him around. What are the stewards going to say about that post race? Will they let the results stand? Okay, we'll find out soon enough, but we're going to go to break. We'll come back with the unofficial results as well as driver interviews. Stick around because we have all the upcoming races on your screen here for the GSRC. Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway. We just watched round 4 in the Bootleg Racing League Grand National Series, and we have our top 5 for the first race of the 2020 Moonshiner Challenge. J.R. Shepard takes top points there with the win. Todd Liston, he wound up second, but he lost it at the very end, getting tipped around by Robbie Robinson. But it wasn't Robinson who finished third, it was Mike Holloway with the P3. Robinson wound up in fourth after that. And then Tim Shinoski, the last of the 5 who will get points towards that 2020 Moonshiner Challenge here today. Justin Morton took 6 with Lowell Jewell, who looked quick at the start, unfortunately spun out early and then handed over a lot of positions. He finished 7th. Kenny Kibbe was P8. Ruben Altice was 9th, and Brad Speidel rounds out your top 10.
Yeah, and it looks like Joe Segala is going to bring it home P11. Donnie Moore, Austin Belke, Mike Allen, John Hine. Those guys, John Hine was running up there towards the front most of the race, and I think he just ran out of tires. Kurt Smith, of course, Bruce Pearson, we saw him getting in some trouble early, and then James Lowe having that trouble with his shifter. It just really, really hurt him.
Hardin as well. It did not start for this race. Driver who started and then finished at the top, even though he started in 14th, was J.R. Shepard. J.R., incredible climb, and I have to ask, are you ready for an omelet? Because you kept that egg intact under the throttle. That was incredible.
I appreciate it, Joe. That was I knew it was going to be a tough race being at Martinsville in these K&N cars, so yeah, the majority of the race was just trying to save the tires and not kill your rear tires, especially up off the corner. And it wasn't easy. And yeah, after I got that damage, after Donnie spun and I wasn't able to avoid him, the front end was lifted up off the ground. And man, the thing would push like a dump truck all the way through the center, and then it would want to break loose on me. So it was extremely tough to try to get the Todd.
Talk about that last restart as well. What kind of nerves were you feeling coming up to that last one, knowing that you essentially had no other, that was the last caution. It was then or never.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be tough, and I'm somebody that when I'm the leader, I want to be the guy that leaves first, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't jump the restart on Todd. So I gave him some room there, and it just looked like he spun the tires enough that I was able to get back beside him, and he had to check up to make sure he stayed on the bottom in turn one, and it looks like the guys behind him just didn't get slowed up. So Todd ran an amazing race. He deserved to win it for sure, and he was driving that thing sideways from what I could see, so I don't know how he held on to it and kept the rear tires under him.
Well, this also goes towards the 2020 Moonshiner Challenge. You take top points here. That starts you out on a good foot. You've already taken multiple championships. Is that Moonshiner Challenge high on your list of to-dos now?
It would definitely be nice to be in the running for it. It's something new that the Bootleg Racing League is doing this season, so yeah, it'd be cool, and I'd forgotten about it until you mentioned it there. So yeah, it'd definitely be cool. But we've got a lot of endurance races that I'm doing with the Western PA iRacing group this year, and that's where I was last week. So I never know when for sure I'm going to miss a race. So we'll probably have some more come up missing here.
All right. Well, we'll still keep an eye out for you. Again, congratulations on the victory. It was J.R. Shepard. And I do believe Jeff has caught up with Mike Holloway, it looks like.
Mike Holloway, man, you did your due tonight, man. You just patience, and you were there at the end ready to go. Coming home P3. You got third place points for the Moonshiners Challenge. How do you feel?
Yeah, that was a pretty good race. If it wasn't for that last wreck there, I barely didn't venture to say I probably wouldn't even made it to fifth. So overall, it all worked out all right for me.
I got a little birdie that's telling me it's somebody's birthday. Yeah, how do you feel with the podium on your birthday?
I mean, I'll take it. The top of the podium would have been much better, but I'll take it.
Yeah, we were really watching you up here, and you just kept it clean. I have to tell you, I think you've got the only clean car out there tonight. So, hats off to you for that. If you come out of here without a dent, you done your deal there, and that's interesting. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
I just got to thank again Lowell and everybody in the league. It's a great league to run in. I enjoy being here and have lots of fun. So, a lot of thanks to Lowell.
Yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on you. Great job tonight, buddy.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
That was Mike Holloway, third place finisher. I saw Todd Liston hovering around, but then it looks like he got distracted to go somewhere else for a moment, so I'm not sure that we'll get to talk to him tonight. Bit of a shame, since I'd really love to hear his thoughts about those last couple laps. So I guess we'll go to our thank yous with, of course, a big thank you to our sponsor, The Cruise Shop. If you'd like to check them out and see what they can do for you, their phone number is 260-755-6125. But they also have a website. It's at thecruiseshopfw.com. Big thanks to the Bootleg Racing League for bringing us back for another season of coverage, but also thank you to the companies that provide the software and the hardware for our broadcasts. They're listed here on your screen. Additional thanks go to June Lalonde, who provides our wonderful music. See the screen for how to get hold of more of her great work. And also thanks to the team today, Jeff, Sean, and Dougie. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. You can also check out our social media. We have Twitter at GSRChannel, Facebook at /Global SimRacing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. We have a merchandise store. It's at gsrc.storeenvy.com, but we've got a link in the description below if you just want to click that to head on over there. And make sure to subscribe to GSRC by clicking on the big red subscribe button. The next race, we're heading over to Lanier. That'll be Saturday, February 1st at 8:50 p.m. Eastern. But we have upcoming races for other series listed on the screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. However, until next time, race clean, race hard. We'll see you on the track.